given the amount of explanation I wanted to give, I figured now was a good time to actually give some voiceover. However, I don't intend to drag on too much. So this is my list of top title tracks from 2022. Firstly, the parameters. Given that some albums have multiple music videos, or in one case a short film with a compilation of multiple tracks, I used Apple Music as a guide. Apple Music puts stars next to title tracks or singles at the discretion of the artist or company. For example, Newjeans has a star next to Hype Boy, indicating that this is the title track of the album. Thus, I consider the tracks without stars next to them as B-sides, which will be relevant when putting together my list of favorite B-sides for another video, provided that I actually make that video. I narrowed down my top title tracks to a top 25 with a special mention, which I will get to later. I'll add a tiny bit of commentary with the top 10 and special mention, but for now, let's get into the countdown, beginning with number 25.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Villain. I used to have as baby, I just lost 760.
Pose by Kino is one that has snuck up on me. I don't follow Pentagon, but I saw one of my favorite reactors was reacting to this, so I saw the first few seconds in the reaction video and knew I had to see the music video for myself. I've only watched the music video one time, but I immediately added the song to my playlist. Recently, I was reviewing my favorite choreography of the year and knew that Kino was a dancer, so I went to look at the dance practice and was amazed. I was also reminded all over again how good of a song this is. It's low-key, but has these lovely swells of sound throughout. I know this song just came out on December 2nd, but hear me out. I have always vibed with RM's music taste the most out of the BTS members. My favorite album is Wings, and my favorite track on the album is RM's solo track. Maybe it's the fellow brainy Virgo in me, I don't know. Then I got a text from my baby sister that Erykah Badu was going to be on the album, and I knew I had to check it out. I was further incentivized when the NPR Tiny Desk concert came out, which was fantastic, by the way. Yoon with Erykah Badu is also a title track, but Anderson .Paak just has this magnetism for me. There's something in the chorus that vaguely reminds me of old Outkast music from back in the day. I love a hint of funk, and I love laid-back hip-hop, and this song delivers.
What you looking at? 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 28 reasons 몰라도 돼 나쁜 의도.
I feel like I don't have to explain numbers 8, 7, and 6, especially 8 and 7, because they are massively popular and fit in the cultural reset category. I will note that I am so pleased that Seulgi went with a dark concept that fits her so well, and from the way the song starts, it immediately grabs your attention because it sounds different. It makes you want to lean in, and then she quietly sings in your ear, "I kissed your brother." It was like she walked right up to you and pulled a pin out of a grenade. She delivered high-quality music, dancing, styling, everything.
Yeah, just turn off your phone. 하던 일을 멈추고 다 airplane mode. You choose 내게 왜 있어?
Like Kino's Pose, this song is one I became aware of thanks to one of my favorite reactors posting a video about it. I never would have known this group existed. I even had trouble finding them in Apple Music at first, because as if having a band name the same as a common color and verb in English wasn't enough, it didn't even pop up if you typed tan do 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 in the search bar when it first came out. I went to complain in the YouTube comments and someone responded to let me know what term I had to type to get the song to show up. I don't remember what it was anymore. Hopefully it's easy for you to find now. According to my Apple Music replay, this was my second most listened to song of the year, which shows how much I enjoyed it. And if you can hear that train in the background, maybe they enjoyed it too. I knew from the second the song started I was going to like it, and the rapper flowed seamlessly into the song as well. This took me completely by surprise. It was one of those music videos that was in my recommended, and I can't remember the last song I listened to of theirs off the top of my head. I don't follow them at all, really. I just checked my Apple Music because I thought I had an idea, but I was getting them confused with another group. I don't have music outside of this song and a B-side or two from this mini album in my library. However, with my years of experience as a K-pop fan, I know that it's best not to dismiss a group outright unless you can't stand someone's voice, because you never know if or when they'll take you by surprise. I added this to my watch later queue, and several days later, when it played, I was absolutely floored. Unlike Do Do Do, I wasn't drawn in at the very first second, but instead the song won me over as it went on. The chorus had me bobbing my head, and then the harmonies and back and forth vocals towards the end of the chorus had me doing the stank face. The rapper really impressed me as well. It took me a bit of warming up listening to the other tracks because his voice really stands out, but I realized while listening to the other tracks that he doesn't sound like Dawn so much as he sounds like Sotaeji. So if you ever listen to the original Come Back Home by Sotaeji and Boys, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm now keeping an eye out for what they bring in the future. Not much to say here other than cultural reset. Just like their previous title track, they just took over the K-pop world with this amazing song and performance.
Color in my bones, no blues, your violence on horizons.
I could rant and rave about DPR all day, but I won't. Now, for some of you K-pop newbies, you may be wondering if this even counts as K-pop. I don't blame you. It maybe technically shouldn't, but on Apple Music and Spotify, this is placed in the K-pop category. And DPR celebrated being ranked number 10 male solo K-pop artist globally this year on Spotify, so I'm counting it. There's also multiple K-pop idols, including Seulgi of ateez and Bangchan of Stray Kids, who mentioned his track Ballroom Extravaganza as a K-pop song they were, quote, currently hooked on, end quote, when asked by Spotify. I get why Ballroom Extravaganza is a more popular title track since it leans more into the emo rock influence, which is getting really popular in K-pop this year, and it seems that Gen Z is really into that sound as well. However, for me, I'm still more partial to funk influence, which is why I chose Mood in particular.
Yeah, I'm the
This is my number 1 most listened to song of the year according to Apple Music, and I knew within the first week of listening to this that it may be my song of the year, despite it coming out in early April. This sound is just one that I really love. Anything with a house influence, aside from tropical house, which I really have to be in a mood for, is something that's going to grab my attention. There are certain specific but kind of random things that will instantly hook me into a song. They're all nostalgia-based, but nostalgic to me personally. If something reminds me of my favorite music from video games growing up, I am in. Some of those games are obscure, while others, like Dance Dance Revolution, are more well-known, and this was giving DDR in the best way. Like 28 Reasons, the song starts quiet and the vocals are made to sound as if Quantum B is right next to you. However, the way in which these songs swell leads to different genres, in this case a mix of UK garage and house music, which has some more nostalgic ties for me, which takes this to my number 1 spot. Now on to my special mention. One of the main reasons I decided to record commentary for this video. There is one song this year for me that is beyond ranking. For those who don't know, I became a K-pop fan during the second generation of K-pop back in 2009. This year has been a special treat for second-gen K-pop fans with reunions of Kara, Girls' Generation, 2NE1 at Coachella, Sistar at Yoo-Heel's Sketchbook, and Mamadol, or MMD, bringing Kai and Sunye back to Korea when us fans thought we'd never see them perform in Korea ever again. However, there was one group that was my first ever alt group, that despite all of the long gaps of time in between comebacks, always managed to yank me right back into their orbit whenever they returned. And that's... Looking at how I feel about Big Bang, I can understand how Blinks eagerly await Blackpink comebacks, even if it's years in the making. Back in 2017, the oldest member, Top, went to serve his military duty. I came to the painful realization that based on the ages of the other members, I may not see Big Bang come back until after I turned 30 in 2020, unless they did a quick comeback before the youngest, Shinee, had to serve. 2017 ended up being a horrible year as a fan of music. One of my favorite singers of my childhood, Chris Cornell, died unexpectedly. Then a couple of months later, the lead singer of my favorite band from my high school days, Chester Bennington, died in a similar fashion. Second only to Big Bang for me was shinee, and my bias, Jonghyun, passed away that December. Less than 6 months later, Top, while serving in the military, overdosed on his medication and lost consciousness. He would later confirm in a 2022 interview that he was attempting to end his life. In early 2019, Seulgi's career ended due to a horrible scandal, which I won't get into. However, I will say the court found him guilty, and I'm not going to defend him whatsoever, and I'm also not going to tolerate defending his actions or denying his guilt. In January 2020, I and many other fans were shocked to see Big Bang announced to be part of the Coachella lineup for 2020, but of course, Coachella was canceled that year, and it looked like there was no telling when we'd hear from them again. Then, in 2022, they released this song, Still Life. The song and the lyrics feel like my soul is being ripped out and put back together. They acknowledge how time has passed and how we've moved past the time of our youth. It felt like a reunion with an old friend, a goodbye to our younger selves, and a, hopefully temporary, goodbye to Big Bang. 13 years of being a fan of this group and seeing their ups and downs gives me a connection to this song that goes beyond any sort of ranking. I barely listen to this song because it's so emotionally charged. However, it's so special in a way that I can't really describe. I will say this: enjoy your faves because you never know which song may be their last. Thank you for watching, especially if you've made it this far. I upload basically when I feel like it, but if you want to see my lists for favorite B-sides or favorite music videos of the year, let me know in the comments. Also, feel free to comment which songs were your favorite this year. My initial list of potential top songs of the year consisted of more than 40 songs, and it was hard to narrow down, so I'd especially be curious if you had a favorite title track that I didn't mention in this video. I'm not sure if I'll add commentary to the next video or not, so let me know if you prefer this style by liking the video and maybe leaving a comment. I hope you have a great day and you are kind to yourself and others. Goodbye.